Good afternoon to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our early afternoon update on Hurricane Melissa for October 26, 2025. And it is continuing to remain a powerful hurricane this afternoon. It had a little bit of a period this morning where its intensification paused for just a little bit, although it is still very much a major hurricane. But I'm going to talk to you why it looks like that is changing, and we are probably now back on track for a rapid intensification phase to occur in Melissa throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the night. And I think we are probably still going to see this strengthen further. And it is a Category 4 right now still, and Category 5 is still very much possible out of Melissa sometime in the next 24 hours. Let's take a look at the latest information, though, from the National Hurricane Center. As of 2 p.m., Hurricane Melissa is at 140 miles per hour still, so winds have not changed much from earlier this morning, although obviously it is still a Category 4 hurricane, so it's still very intense, with a minimum pressure of 946 millibars, located at 16.4 north, 76.9 west, and it is moving west at 5 miles per hour. And let's take a look at the latest satellite view of Melissa this afternoon. Decided to use the high-res visible instead of the IR for this update because want to switch up the satellite views that we look at. Don't always want to use the same one, but no matter what satellite view you look at, Melissa is a very menacing hurricane. You're starting to see kind of the stadium effect begin to occur here. And it is definitely looking more organized. You see the very pronounced outflow on pretty much all quadrants of the storm. And you can see it has a very nice rounded CDO. And it was trying to go for an eyewall replacement cycle earlier in the morning, or at least, earlier on a few hours ago. At least that's what radar indicated. But now it seems like it has kind of aborted that, and it is now back to organizing and probably well on its way to intensifying further. And that is what recon is now beginning to find. The latest center pass that recon did, at least the latest recon flight from, which is ongoing right now, they found a pressure of 949 millibars in the center, and they found that from a dropson that they, dropped into the eye. It was 949 millibars, but they found some pretty strong winds within it. So I guess once you extrapolate that, because it's roughly, you have to extrapolate 10, for every 10 knots of wind that you find in the eye, you have to lower the pressure by at least 1 millibar. So they found it at 26 knots. So I guess that, you could round that up to 30. So you take away 3 millibars and you get 946, which is what the pressure from the National Hurricane Center was at the 2 p.m. advisory. So that's how you do a little bit of math for calculating the pressure with looking at these dropsons. But earlier, with the recon flight from about a few hours ago, earlier in the day, the pressure was at 954 millibars, although you could probably lower this to 953. So we did see a pressure drop of a few millibars, I guess roughly 7 to 8 millibars in just a few hours. So this is definitely back on track on rapid intensification, and looks like recon is about to go in for another center pass here. They're on the southwestern side of the storm right now, so they're probably going to go for a southwest to northeast pass with Melissa. And we'll see if they find yet another pressure drop with the storm, although I think it is pretty likely that they will find one. And again, this is going to continue to intensify. It is going to remain a major hurricane over the next several days, and it's definitely not reached its peak intensity yet, and it's probably going to do so before it strikes the island of Jamaica Tuesday morning. And let's actually see what the latest intensity from the National Hurricane Center is, or at least what they forecast. And within the next 24 hours, they still go with Category 5 intensity, and then they show that this will remain a major hurricane and probably weaken a little bit, but not by much, until this eventually makes a landfall on the island of Jamaica. I think the point that's right here coming ashore on Jamaica is the 155-mile-per-hour point. So slight weakening that I guess the National Hurricane Center expects. But as I've said before, and I mean, does it really make a difference? 160, 155 miles per hour. That's barely a difference. You're still going to have lots of very strong wind that'll probably cause significant structural damage. And the gusts, especially with very weak structures, I bet you 150, 160-mile-per-hour winds will be enough to blow some houses away without the storm surge level and without the heavy rain. But you do have to factor both of those potentials in, especially the heavy rainfall. And this is something that I've been warning you guys about would be a major, major issue for Jamaica. And the best way to show that is through this graphic here from the WPC, the 4-day rainfall forecast. And what do you know? They literally have it in writing here, possible up to 40 inches of rainfall, especially in the eastern portion of the island, where we probably will see the worst impacts, but pretty much the entire island of Jamaica expecting quite a bit of rainfall, with most of the island to expect, at least a good, I'd say, maybe 2/3 of the island here expecting at least a foot of rainfall, if not more. But especially in these areas where we're going to see as much as 40 inches of rain. So that's roughly 3 to 4 feet of rain possible in some isolated areas. That is going to cause significant damage beyond what wind damage might potentially do. You're going to have the risk of flooding, and add the storm surge to that as well. But especially, when it comes to mudslides, because you got to keep in mind the terrain of Jamaica in many areas is pretty mountainous, and when you have a lot of heavy rainfall and very mountainous terrain, you get mudslides that causes all kinds of damage and death. This is really not shaping up to be a very good storm at all, and we're going to have to watch things very, very closely here over the next several days as this will continue to intensify, likely become a Category 5 hurricane, and likely make landfall on the island of Jamaica as at least a strong Category 4 to Category 5. And before I wrap up, I do want to show you actually what the potential for storm surge is going to be. And right now, the storm surge estimate, life-threatening storm surge is likely along the south coast of Jamaica, late Monday through Tuesday morning. Peak storm surge heights could reach 9 to 13 feet above ground level, near to the east of where the center of Melissa makes landfall. And this storm surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. And when it comes to the storm surge, especially, it really does depend on where exactly we see a landfall occur with Melissa, because the exact point of landfall, especially if it makes landfall in the right area of the coastline, where the geography will favor the most amount of water being funneled in for potentially very high storm surge, will maximize the potential amount of devastating effect for storm surge, especially along the coastline. So we're going to have to watch, especially now over the next day or so, what exactly Melissa does from its intensity to its track. All things we're going to go over, and definitely continue to update you on over the next day or so here, and definitely throughout the rest of the day today. Coming up later on, I'm going to show you some of the models, including the hurricane models and even the global models like the GFS and the Euro as well. And I'm going to show you what to expect for potential landfall, and implications as well for where we might have to watch for the exact landfall point, and how that, of course, will relate to storm surge as well. I'm all going to cover that later this afternoon. Contemplating whether or not I should do a live stream. I mean, I probably should, and maybe if you guys want it, let me know in the comments if you do want it. But I more than likely might do one. Might happen at around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, or maybe even 5 o'clock, so we can talk about the 5 o'clock advisory. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But make sure to stay tuned as well for all these updates that we're going to be having for you throughout the next several days. Obviously, this is the second one of the day, and we're going to have at least two more plus a live stream again that I'm going to do later on. So if you want to stay tuned for all of those and you haven't already done so, please make sure to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you can get videos the moment I upload them. That's going to do it for this update, though. Enjoy the rest of your day. And once again, if you are in Jamaica, please rush your plans and your preparations to completion and just batten down, shelter, and hope for the best. And I think we're all going to be able to get through this, or at least most of us will. Or, we can have hope that everybody will, but, as I always say, hope is not a planning tool, which is why you got to plan, and you got to plan right now. But with that being said, going to wrap it up now. I'll see you again later on.